Check. Check. Good morning, friends. It's Wonderful Wednesday. Who is excited for Wednesday? I know I am. Hope everybody had a good day yesterday. This morning, I am working on finishing up a blanket. So, one of the squares I've been playing around with lately is the Victorian Lattice square. And I made this entire blanket that you can see here with the Victorian Lattice square. This is a beautiful pattern by Destany Wymore. And today I'm going to be putting a border on it. So it's border day. I know you guys are excited for that. Hey Kimberly, good morning. Let me turn my comments on here on YouTube so I can see y'all chiming in. I had to turn them off last night. I was watching Ryan Hall because we had a big storm. There's Miss Wendy this morning. Wendy, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Hillary is in the house with a Wonderful Wednesday sticker. Gotta love that. So, today the yarn I'm using is none other than the Red Heart Super Saver Biddy Stripes. And this is the colorway Love Bug. Now, when I use this yarn, it has a very lighter color that you can kind of see here. And I actually took that out of the squares. I didn't like how it was laying out. It was such a stark contrast. So I did remove that color, but I used everything else and I just kind of let the colors flow. So I made a total of 12 squares. Now, these are pretty big squares, and I'm making a wheelchair size blanket. So, my end goal is to have 35 by 45. But you can see how pretty this pattern is. So, what we're going to be doing today is doing a little border. And how I started this, after I got all my squares sewed together, I went ahead and I put a half double crochet all the way around just to kind of give it a finished edge. But now what I want to do today is I want to come back and add a little ruffle action to this guy. And one of the blankets I made, I don't know, a few weeks ago, a lot of you guys saw me make this blanket, but this is the same square. Again, the Victorian Lattice square. Now, this is Red Heart Super Saver in the colorway Retro Stripes, but really, really pretty yarn. Then what I did is I came back and I added this little shell border to it. And so that's what I'm going to be doing today. Now, I'm not going to be doing any contrasting colors for this next blanket, but we're going to apply this same stitch that I came up with. And so basically the way that I did this is I did a total of 7 treble crochets into the corner. Then I skipped 2 stitches. And then I did a single crochet, and then I did a chain of 2, and then a single crochet. And then I did another of the like scallop, but that when I did the sides, I did only 5 treble crochets. And so I just kind of wanted to give it this scallop effect by doing the chain in between the 2 shells, scallop, whatever you want to call them. What it does is it kind of gives it a little um, space in between. And so that's kind of why I did that. And then, of course, for this blanket, I came back with the black accent to kind of make it pop. So that is our mission today. So let me try to get my lap cleared out here. Hey, Debbie, good morning. Let's see. Wendy said, I'm addicted to Biddy stripes. I ordered so much when I was on sale. The UPS guy was annoyed. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well, you're paying for his job there. He should be happy. But you can see I just kind of let the colors flow. Jennifer is here. Good morning. It is Wonderful Wednesday. Texas Whiskey is here. Wilbur, how are you? Westy Lover in the house. Valdlocks is here this morning. Y'all, are you having a great day? Let's get this party started. What do you say? Let's get this yarn going. let me get these skeins where I can use them. Gen X is here. Good morning, Gen X. Ryan said, I love this yarn. What is it? This is Red Heart Bitty Stripes. Super Saver Bitty Stripes. Itty bitty stripes. And this is the colorway Love Bug. Now, I call this blanket the rosé. I called it the triple berry rosé blanket because to me, I don't know, when I see it, I see like fruity wines in the summer. I guess Love Bug, I kind of get that, but for me, that's what I see. So anyhow, Wilbur is making some squares for a baby blanket. Arlene, good morning. How are you? Vicky said it's very berry. Yes, it's like triple berry. It's like you got your blackberry, your raspberries, maybe some black cherries in there. I don't know, blueberries, right? To me, it's like a summer berry cocktail. But hey, what do I know? Today I'm going to be using a size I9 hook. And this is a 4-weight medium acrylic yarn. So I got to turn this blanket some more so I can actually work on this guy. I got to turn him upside down. My lap is not big enough for y'all. So sorry, I'm probably making you seasick already this morning. I'm going to settle down here. I promise. I promise. We survived the storms last night. I hope everybody is safe out there. We had a lot of storms here in Northeast Alabama. I know Huntsville got hit pretty hard. Now we had rain and lots of lightning and wind, but all of the tornadoes were just northeast of us, and so we kind of lucked out last night. But it was kind of sketchy there for a while. Mama Wheeler says, "Sounds like April's making a homebrew." Yeah, I make wine as a hobby, so I think in terms of wine sometimes, you know. Okay, so I'm going to start with a slip knot on my hook. Da, 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 da. Then I'm going to work into this corner. And normally when I do my shells, I like to do double crochets, but I got a little wild on that kind of party blanket, and I really liked how the treble crochet looked. So, hey, Mrs. Jarvis, good morning. Chantel said, "Glad you are safe." Yeah, I hope everybody is safe out there. It was a lot yesterday, and it wasn't just here in Alabama. I know there were storms. I saw tornado warnings all the way up into Illinois and down in Louisiana. Tennessee, I know, got hit. Hopefully, our friend Kelly is safe, and our Tennessee friends, and over into Arkansas, just lots of weather. So, into this corner, I'm going to start with a standing treble crochet. So, I put a slip knot on my hook. Now, you guys have seen me do a double a whole bunch of times, but I'm going to do a treble this morning. I think I need 3 loops, but I could be wrong. We're gonna find out right now. So I put my yarn through, grab up a loop. There's one, two. Oh, I got one too many. Okay, start over. Let's do 2 wraparounds, 3 loops on our hook. That's looking better. That's looking better already. Down into the space, grab up our loop. Now we have 4 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. So there is our standing treble crochet. And you know what? As I'm thinking about this, I don't want to do it like this in the corner, actually. Let me tell you why. As I'm rethinking this. Um, so when these shells are constructed, you can see here when I did this one. See how I started right here with the like neon green, and then I came back along with the orange. What I discovered on this last blanket that I did is it would actually work better if I would start right here with a single crochet, then move to the shell. So let me completely rethink this. Do I know what I'm doing this morning? Y'all are probably scratching your head over there going, Goodness, what is she doing this morning?" This is how I roll, guys. Okay, let's start with a slip knot on my hook. And let's go 2 stitches over here, and we're going to do a single crochet. This way, when I move to the shell part, you'll see that that will pull that corner down without me having to come back around. It'll make it easier when I do the final row. Now I'm going to do a treble into the corner. So let's do this. and I'm going to do a total of 7 trebles. Do you see how that single crochet is pulling that side down? That's exactly what we're looking for. So here's treble number 2 and treble number 3. Hey Karen, good morning. Rachel is in the house. Rachel, I'm sorry I missed your live yesterday. I was watching the weather radio. Or on YouTube. I was watching Ryan Hall because we had so much weather. So I wanted to catch you last night. But friends, if you are not following Miss Rachel, who is pinned here in the comments on TikTok, you should give her a follow. Now's your chance. She is a great TikTok creator. She goes live frequently, both in the evenings, and she started going live in the mornings now. And she makes amigurumi along with blankets and wearables and all sorts of fun stuff. One, two, three, four, five, six. Here is number 7, treble crochet. So there's our first little scallop shell, whatever you want to call it. Now I'm going to skip 2. Now remember, when you're first starting out, my first stitch is kind of hidden right here. So that's number 1. There's number 2. Now I'm going to single crochet into number 3. And let's just kind of see how this looks. Um, there isn't a pattern for this, guys. I just sat down and started crocheting a ruffle border, and I kind of liked how it turned out. So I like to kind of improvise and do my thing. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to chain 2. What I'm trying to do is get some space between this scallop and the next one. So I'm going to chain 2, skip 2 stitches, and then into the 3rd stitch, I'm going to single crochet. Okay, now I'm going to skip 2 more stitches, 1, 2, and into the 3rd. Now I'm going to do our treble crochets again. And along the sides, I do 5. And the reason why it's less on the sides than in the corner is when you do your corner, you have to have enough stitches to go around the corner, whereas on the sides, you just don't need as many. Look at all those subscriber stickers. I love it, Vicky. Love it, love it. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Wednesday. I put little Diesel outside with his busy ball, I guess is what you call it. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's got little treats in there and peanut butter. Hopefully, he'll stay occupied while we're crocheting this morning. Now, I'm going to skip 2 and we're going to tack this shell down. So, we're going to do a single crochet in number 3. Instead of flying up here in the air, that's going to bring this guy down to reality, make him into shape. Okay. So there you can see our little shell. Now it does have a little poof and stuff as we're doing it. It's got a little tummy pooch. That's okay. We want it to kind of have some texture and kind of be ruffly. Just a Gen X girl is in the house. Good morning. Brand new skein of yarn. I'm going to have to do some pulling out of the yarn. Gen X said it's raining so hard here right now, I have to crank up the volume to hear. Uh-oh, does my volume sound good for everybody, or is it just the rain? Now I'm going to skip 2 into the next single crochet. Okay, so we're just putting some distance between this guy and then the next guy. So now again, skip 2, and I'm going to treble crochet into the 3rd. Jennifer said it's good for her. Chantel said it's good. Okay, good. Sparky said I have a tummy pooch, so there you go, right? Nothing wrong with a little tummy pooch. As us gals get a little older, it happens. It happens, you know. I got a little tummy pooch here. It's sometimes hard. I can't fit my crocheting in my lap, but this is what I am. So there you go. Jen X said the rain is loud. I'm right beside the window. Uh-oh. Let's see. I have a question. I bought chunky yarn. Any advice on what type of blanket would be beautiful to make? Chantel, check out Mikey at the Crochet Crowd, the Study of Snow. The Study of Snow pattern. He made that with a 6 bulky weight. It's worked in the round. It's a square blanket. Now I've made it a rectangle size, but has lots of fun textures, and it works up quickly if you use a bulky weight. Friends, thank you all so much for the gifts this morning and all the heart me's. I see some new followers popping up. Welcome, welcome. If you are new to my channel, my name is April and I'm a hobby crocheter. I come live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday mornings. But we are glad to have you all here. I'm going to be on for a couple hours this morning before I have to go to work. I work remote in Arizona. I live in Northeast Alabama. We had some weather yesterday. I hope everybody is safe with the weather. It was a lot. It was a lot yesterday, but we're good here. We didn't have any damage or anything, so we're definitely uh, very good here. Hi, Chantel. I'm Chantel. There you go. Almost twins. Okay, now I'm going to skip two into the next. Again, I'm doing treble crochets. I'm going to do five of them. Does anybody need help making a treble crochet? Does everybody know how? Do you need me to show you how to do a treble? Trying to go slow here this morning. Yesterday was a fast and furious live. We made granny squares yesterday. Really fun day. Lots of new followers yesterday, lots of new friends. Lots of our regulars were here yesterday as well. It was a really fun day for me. I hope you guys had fun too. It was definitely I love working with all the bright fun colors. Now this colorway that I'm working with today, if you're just coming on, this is the colorway Love Bug, and this is Red Heart Super Saver Retro Stripe, not retro stripe, bitty stripes. And I'm putting a ruffle blanket on this border, or on this blanket. The pattern that I made for my squares, I made a total of 12 squares. These are pretty big squares, but this is the Victorian Lattice square. Pattern is by Destiny Wymore, if you're interested in making it. There are links on the link tree, but I'm really enjoying this square. It has lots of fun texture. You can kind of see the little lattice work here. Almost looks lacy. Really fun square, and it works up big, so that's nice. For wheelchair size, I only needed 12 squares, so it's really a really fun pattern. Skip two, now into the third, single crochet. And now we're going to, again, start another shell. So skip two into the third here. I'm going to do a treble crochet. Crystal said, how is your cardigan going? Crystal, I'm glad you asked. Tomorrow is cardigan day. I know you guys are excited. You want a little sneak peek for those that are here? Let me see if I can reach it. I'm probably going to bump the camera. Sorry, y'all. Speaking of small laps, this is not going to fit. I've done half the cardigan, half of the not blanket, cardigan, half of it. So this is the half. It's hard to see. Let me see if I can zoom out a little bit. No, it's not going to let me. Okay. This is my armpit here, if you can envision it. Here, not hair. um, then here is where I sewed my shoulder together. Okay. And I did a slip stitch join. I did a join as you go. Turned out really cool. And then I finished the sleeve. So I started, it's like a hexagon, right? The pattern I'm using for this, Rachel, is Study a Snow, but here's my sleeve. So you can see this is where the square ended. So like if you were doing the traditional granny, you know how you have to add more to your arm. So I continued the pattern down, and then I did my little cuff. So I did a decrease along here and made my little cuff. So I have half of it done. And yeah, I make the Study as Snow a lot, Hillary, and that's the pattern I just recommended for whoever asked about the bulky yarn. So tomorrow I'm going to start a new one right here in the armpit, and I'm going to start working a new one of these. I'm not going to have enough time on the entire live, but basically what I did is I took Mikey's square pattern, and instead of making a square, I turned it into the hexagon. So I gave it 6 sides instead of 5, just like you would do with your granny stitch. So that's what's on deck for tomorrow. Anyhow, I'm really pleased with how it's turning out. I never thought I would be like a big cardigan gal, but I really enjoyed making the granny one. I made it for the first time, a few weeks ago, and I really enjoyed it. And I love the Study of Snow pattern, and I kept seeing it, and I could just see it as a cardigan, right? I could just see it kind of coming together as that. So I know Mikey, when he created that pattern, he never intended it to be a cardigan, but I've made that pattern into a baby blanket and, a variety of blankets. Now, the other thing I want to do with the study of snow is I actually want to make a rectangle size so I could do a wheelchair blanket. So that's my other goal that's been rolling around in my head. One, two, three, four, five. Gemma, I am putting a border on a blanket that I started, I don't know, a week or so ago. But this color that I'm using today, if you're just joining on, I made these squares. This is the Victorian lattice square. There are links on the link tree if you would like to make this square. You can also see me making the retro stripe square. This is the same one, if you can kind of see that. It's a big square. But this is also a wheelchair sized blanket that I made. You can watch me make this on my YouTube. If you're not following me on my YouTube, my handle over there is the same, Wheeler 8 Acres, but it's about a 10-inch square. And one of our friends, I don't remember who was making it, but one of our friends is making some of these to actually go on the back of her cardigan. I thought that was a really clever idea. Let me regroup here. My lap runneth over. Hey, Leanimal, that's a cute handle. That's a very cute animal. Would love to see that in a wheelchair blanket. Yeah, can't you vision that with all the fun textures? It would have like the little uh, where you could touch the different like this. I can never remember what that's called, but where you can like run your fingers on it and just has like the cool like textures and stuff. So I definitely want to make that into a rectangle blanket also. I don't know how Mikey feels about me reworking all his pattern, but hey, you know. Hey Debbie, good morning. Brady, how are you? Caitlin, sensory. Thank you, sensory. I always forget. Skip two, into the next, single crochet. Um, love those purple and blue color. Isn't it pretty? That yarn, the for the cardigan, we're gonna work on that tomorrow. Um, but somebody asked how my cardigan was coming, and so I gave you all a little sneak peek of what's on deck. Who's on first? Mama Wheeler, if you guys do not know, if you're new to my channel, Mama Wheeler is my mom. I live in Alabama. My mom is down in Florida, but she comes on the live and chats with our friends here. So it's pretty cool that I get to see my mom every morning, virtually, I guess. Have a little chat with mom. And she was worried about us last night with the storm, but we are A-OK here. Doing just fine. We have some relatives that live in the Sylvania Henniger area, so I hope they're okay this morning. I haven't heard. One, two, three, four, five. Skip two, into the next, single crochet. So when you make these little scallops, oh look, I messed up. See how that didn't give me any room in between? I got to talking. I'm supposed to do some chain spaces in here. Get your frogs. April's frogging. Frogging already on this wonderful Wednesday. Well, it happens. Let's try this again. After you finish your shell, you do a single crochet. That helps pull the corner down. Now we're going to chain two. What I'm trying to do is put some space in between the shells, okay, and kind of give them some definition. Skip two, into the third here, single crochet. Now I'm going to skip another two, and then I'm going to do another one of the shells. And I'm doing treble crochets. I wrap my yarn around twice, go down in, grab up a loop. Now we have four, yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two, and yarn over, pull through two. And I'm going to do this 5 times. I'm going to do 5 trebles into each of the shells, ruffles, scallops, whatever you want to call it. The little frilly part, I'm going to do 5 trebles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you could do doubles here as well, either way. But what I am doing with this ruffle is I'm going to come back with another row. So if we look at the blanket here, now I'm not going to do black. This is the same ruffle that I'm making right now. So you can see the trebles. When I come back for the next round, what I do is I put 2 single crochets in between. And that kind of helps to set those fans apart. So two singles, two singles, two singles. And then along the side here, I did half doubles, two of them into the chain space. I just went right over that other stitch and it kind of gave it like some little fangs. Looks cute. Looks really cute. So that's what we're making. If you're just joining, skip two into the next, single crochet. Okay, so again, your single crochets will automatically force this to fan downwards and give it that nice effect. Now I'm going to chain two, skip two into the next, single crochet, skip two into the next, back to our treble crochets, five of them. So I know I missed some of the comments here. Friends, if you didn't get your question answered, I had my head down looking at the stitches. Let me know again in the chat if you need a question answered. The yarn that I'm using today is Red Heart Super Saver, and it is the Bitty Stripes yarn in the colorway Love Bug. Love Bug. Really, really pretty yarn. I bought this from Yarnspirations. Skip two into the next, single crochet. Now, Walmart has gotten in some of the Bitty Stripes yarn, but they didn't get it at any of our stores here close to me. I would have had to go over to Huntsville. Skip two into the next, single crochet. But I did buy a variety of colors of the Bitty Stripes. I really like how it's working up and looking really, really pretty. Now again, we're going to do our treble crochets, and I'm going to do five of them. Dana, thank you so much for the heart me, and good morning. Our friend Dana is here. Danny Lee is in the house. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a great day. Here's number four and number five. I love how it changes colors as you're going along. See how it transition? It's a very nice, kind of smooth transition. To me, this looks like triple berry. I know they call it love bug, but to me, it looks like, raspberries and black cherries. And this looks like blueberries, kind of blackberries. I like it. I think it looks like summer berries. Skip two into the next, single crochet. We do the single crochet because that helps bring that shell down. Okay. Chain two, put a little space in between this shell and the next, skip two, and then single crochet. So we're just kind of putting a little distance. Skip two into the next, treble crochet, five treble crochets for this shell that I'm doing. My spot, good morning. How are you, friend? The squares that I used for this blanket is the Victorian lattice square. It is a free pattern on Ravelry by Destany Wymore. It's a beautiful, beautiful pattern. There are links on the link tree if you would like to make this square. You can see this version here I did with the Red Heart Super Saver in the colorway Retro Stripe. So it's really bright and fun, but it has lots of fun like lace work. Really, really pretty. This is Red Heart as well. And then this one that I made, we're almost to the corner here. You can see I just kind of let the colors flow of the bitty stripes, but you can see that beautiful lace work. Such a nice square. And it's a nice big square too. It's uh 10 inches is what size my square ended up being. I'm using a size I9 hook this morning. There's Miss Kelly. Kelly, how are you doing with all the storms, sweetie? Did you we're doing good here. We got rain and lots of lightning, but the tornadoes kind of went around us. They went like north of us and then south of us. So we had lots of action, but no physical tornadoes uh here at our property. One, two, three, four, five. Skip two. Kelly is in Tennessee, and so I know Tennessee got hit pretty hard last night. Papa Wheeler is loving the colors too. I better be on my best behavior. Crochet Police is in the house. Uh, Crochet Police is in the house. Now, I do get a little rebel on this, and I'll tell you why. I didn't count anything, okay? So as we get closer to the end here, I don't know how these shells are going to work into the corner. Like if I have enough space for all the stitches. So we're going to kind of improvise a little bit. Skip 2 into the next, single crochet, skip 2 into the third, back to our trebles. We need 5. So, normally if you're following like a written pattern, the pattern creator will have figured out all of the spacing and they will tell you, so that it works out perfectly when you get to the end of your row. Uh, they think 2 touch down here, but none on my property. My friend had a lot of trees down. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Hope everybody is safe. Kelly, my parents had their gazebo in the pool, but no one hurt. Thank goodness. Yes, thank goodness. Um, yeah, I haven't really heard the extent of all the damage. I know Huntsville, there was a big tornado on the ground in Huntsville last night. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I hope everybody is safe there too. Very scary. Skip 2 into the next, single crochet. So we're doing these chain spaces here to put some distance between this shell and this shell. It'll help to really set it apart when we do our final row. Chain 2, skip 2, single crochet. Now we're going to skip 2 and start a treble crochet. We need 5 treble crochets for the little shell that I'm making. For this particular pattern, Texas Whiskey's question is, how many squares does it take to make a wheelchair blanket? This square was 10 inches, and I did a total of 12 of them. So I did 3 across by 4 long. So that makes it 30 inches across by 40 inches long. And then I came back with a half double all the way around. And then I'm doing the shells. So basically, I had 30 inches, and this border is kind of big. I'm going to have another row outside of this, a small one. So it's probably going to be about 2 inches I'm adding on each side. So that's going to add 4 inches. So my blanket's going to end up being probably like 34 by 44, I think. So it's going to be a little smaller, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with an inch smaller. What's an inch between friends, It'll work just fine. So the wheelchair size I try to reach is 35 by 45. Now, of course, you could make this bigger as well if you wanted to make a larger blanket. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip 2, single crochet. This single crochet helps bring this shell into shape. Okay. Now we're going to chain 2. Now here's where I say it starts to get a little sketchy for me. Okay, so you have to kind of do some envisioning here. This is what pattern makers do for us. Okay, I'm going to have a shell right here in the corner. Okay, and then I'm going to have a single crochet working backwards in my mind will be here. Then I'll have a chain of 2 will be there. And then I'll have a scallop here. So the challenge that I have is this all going to work out? I think it will, but we might have to move some stitches around to accommodate. Oops, I'm supposed to do a single crochet. Who's keeping track of what I'm doing this morning? I need a thump on the head. Skip 2 into the third single crochet. Skip 2. Now we're going to do our shell here. So we need 5 trebles into this stitch here. So as I'm looking at this, what I have to be deducing in my brain is, can I fit another shell between here and the corner, or do I need to? I don't think I need to. So I'm going to skip 2 into the third single crochet. Now we need to chain 2, skip 2, single crochet. So had I been official pattern maker, it would have ended perfectly on this stitch. You can see mine does not. This is where the rebel in me comes out. I don't care. It's going to be fine. It'll be fine. I'm going to put my 7 trebles here in the corner. It's going to stretch a little bit over, and I think it'll be just absolutely peachy. Nobody will be the wiser. You guys are all going to know. But, I'm not going to worry about that one little extra stitch. It's not going to make that big of a difference. So I just kind of go with it. Sometimes you just got to be a rebel and not worry so much about all that. Crochet should be fun and relaxing. One, two, three, four, five, six. So I try not to get all stressed out about it, you know? Okay, so there is our corner. See that extra stitch? Nobody's going to be the wiser, right? Not even a thing. Okay, so now we're going to turn our blanket. Let me see if I can wiggle this around here. It's hard when I have a full blanket in my lap on these crochet days, but I like to show you guys borders. I think it's one of the things that's really fun to do with crochet. Is kind of fancy some things up. Now I do some kind of plain borders as well. Next week we're going to be doing a crab stitch border. I do have that on deck. So I'm going to skip two, and then I'm going to do a single crochet. Now, if you are new to crochet, you have to pull this stitch back because the first stitch is actually hidden here. And a lot of new crocheters will make this mistake. So when you look at a crochet stitch, you have the top of the stitch, which is your two loops. The one that faces me is the front loop. The one that is away from me is the back loop. So front and back loop, we're working under both loops. Now, here's the thing. If you look at the legs of the stitch, the post, okay, this part down below, this is a half double crochet. So when you follow the stitch up, a lot of new crocheters that are not familiar will immediately think this is the top of this stitch, when in reality, the top of the stitch actually sits to the right of the stitch, to the right of the post. So you follow the post up. This is actually the top of that stitch. So when I say I'm going to skip two, I have to kind of pull this back so that I know that's number one, that's number two, then I'm going to go into number three. Okay, so skip two, one, two, and single crochets. That helps us crest up and over around the corner. T said, "I'm so scared to try borders, but you make it seem so easy." Yeah, it's you just follow along, but don't be scared. Give it a try. I know borders sometimes can be daunting because it's kind of a lot of texture and stuff, but crochet a lot of times is just an illusion. And all that I am doing this morning is I'm doing a chain, I'm doing a single crochet, and I'm doing trebles. Those three stitches are what is comprising this border. And it's just about the stitch placement, of how this works out. Miss Maggie is here in the house. Friends, our mods have pinned Maggie here on the TikTok chat. If you are not following Miss Maggie, I highly encourage you to give her a follow. She is a fun crocheter here. She goes live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday evenings after she's off of work. And she's got a lot of meetings and stuff this week, so she might not be going live. It is Wonderful Wednesday, but I don't want to speak for Maggie, but I don't know that she'll be live tonight. But she does go live Saturday and Sunday mornings, and she is wonderful to watch. She has Maggie, I have to tell you, I got a coffee cup on order. Maggie got some merch in her shop for her little magical unicorn, and I couldn't help myself. I have a cup that sits next to me here on my table, and it's got my little ruler, my nail files, and my Coban for wrapping my uh, stitches. But it's Maricopa County. This is a cup that my husband had when he used to work for Maricopa County, and I thought I think my cup needs an upgrade. So I ordered one of Maggie's unicorn cups. I'm so excited. So excited. So, anyhow, Maggie said she'll be live Friday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern. There you go. So give Maggie a follow if you're not already. One, two, three, four, five. And thanks for being here this morning, Maggie. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. I hope you survived all the weather yesterday if you got hit. We're doing fine here in Alabama. We got rain and lots of lightning and wind, but the tornadoes went around us. The one was probably about I want to say 10 miles, like northeast of us. It was in a town called Sylvania, which is north of us. So that was good. We were, I mean, it's not good that there was a tornado, but I'm glad it didn't hit our property here. So anyhow, I know a lot of people are going through damage this morning. There was tornadoes and weather all across Tennessee and Alabama and all the way down into Louisiana. I saw Illinois had um, tornado warnings, and uh, down into Louisiana, over into Arkansas and everything. So yeah, kind of scary. One, two, three, four. But I hope everybody is okay. Maggie said weather is today, rain all day. It's actually sunny here this morning. So Maggie is further east of us. One, two, three, four, five. Skip two, into the next uh, single crochet. This morning, guys, if you are just hopping on, I am working on adding a border to a blanket. Okay. This square that you see here is the Victorian lattice square. It's a free pattern on Ravelry by Destany Wymore. It's an absolutely beautiful, beautiful pattern. There are links on the link tree. And I made 12 of these squares and I sewed them together. It's a 10-inch square. It's a large square. And I made a total of 12, so I did 3 by 4. So I'm trying to get to a 35 by 45 to make it like a wheelchair lap blanket size. And so now all I'm doing today is I'm coming back and I'm adding the border. And so we're doing these little shells. Now I did this border. It's just something I came up with for this. I did. Sorry, my lap is full here. I did. This is retro stripes, Red Heart retro stripes. This is a wheelchair size as well. But when I did this blanket, I came back with the black and green and stuff. And so we're working on this part right here. And then here's the chain space. So you can see I'm going to do another row. Now it won't be black. I'm just going to continue using the same yarn for this blanket. But in between each of these um, treble crochets that I'm doing two single crochets, two singles, two singles, two singles, and I'm just kind of framing that stitch, working my way along. Now, in where I'm doing this chain, I did two half doubles. So I want it to kind of look like it's, coming down, but I wanted to kind of bridge that gap a little bit. So that's the border that we're working on today. I am using a size I9 hook today. And this yarn that I'm using is Red Heart Biddy stripes in the colorway Love Bug. Now, to me, I call this the triple berry blanket because to me it looks like raspberries and blueberries, maybe some black cherries in there, blackberries. Really, really pretty. And I just let these colors flow when I made the squares. So eventually I'll have a video of this all spread out over on my TikTok, and you'll be able to see the colors and everything better. It's a little hard because it's big in my lap, but it's a really, really fun pattern. I really enjoy that pattern by Destiny Weimer. Really, really pretty pattern. So here's the thing I have to decide now, guys. And maybe you can help me decide. I think I should leave it in, but you can see my yarn is changing to the lighter color. So when I did these squares, I joined them with the lighter color, but I didn't actually put the lighter color in the squares themselves. I took it out and then I used all that lighter to join them. So now I'm kind of faced with the dilemma as I'm doing the border. Do I leave the lighter color as part of the shell or do I take it out? That is the big question of the day. What do you guys think? Y'all are expert crocheters and like crocheting. What do you think? Leave the light color in. Do you want me to work up some stitches? We're almost there. Let's see how it looks. Then maybe you can give me your opinion on this. You decide if April leaves in the lighter color or take it out. I'm kind of leaning towards take it out, but let's see how it looks. The reason I took it out of the squares is because it was such a stark contrast between this lighter color and the darker color within the yarn. I really didn't like how it was looking. So let's do a few more stitches here and just kind of see how it's going to look, and then we can kind of maybe decide. Um, I'm kind of leaning towards we should take it out, but I could be totally overthinking this too. Still got lighter color happening here. Let's do a few more, and that way we can get the full effect. We might have to frog out if we decide we don't like it, but don't be afraid if you don't like how the yarn is working up. Uh, oh, there's a poll. Look at that, Miss Gen X. There's a poll up here on TikTok in the upper left-hand corner. Here's what we're talking about. Okay, so this lighter color, I didn't include it in the squares, but I did join with the lighter color. Okay, um, I think, or maybe I did some. I guess I did do some. Here's a square that has it. I know I took a lot of it out because it was just too much. So do I leave it on the border, or do I take it out and make it all the darker colors? Here's the other side that we crocheted this morning. You can kind of see how that's working out. Okay. So light, or I don't know. I don't know. I think my vote would be to take it out, but it just is such a stark. Do you see what I mean by like the color change is really abrupt? I guess is how I would describe it. It's really abrupt. Um, Constance says I think you should take it out. Overwhelming. Take it out is the vote. Okay, taking it out. I agree. Take it out. So I didn't get to see the summary of the poll. Oh, the poll's still going. Maybe. Oh, 80% said take it out, as people are still voting. I think it's a landslide here. So let's take it out. Anyhow, as I was mentioning, if you don't like how a color is working, don't be afraid to like change it up. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing that says, there's no rules that says just because Red Heart put this light color in the yarn that I have to keep using it. Uh, so the final result was 79.59% said take it out. So here we go. We're going to take it out. Snippety snip. Okay. So let me pull this out of the skein. Thank you guys for helping me decide. Okay, so we're going to transition here now to blueberry or blackberry. Nice, pretty purple colors. Let me take out this white. It's not white, it's just like a lighter color. So it's only this much. And I can use this for something else later on. I always save my scraps. You never know when I'm going to make a scrap yarn or something, but you can see other yarns that I've taken out of the same color. And I just keep it kind of in a little zippy next to me here. Um, so Kat said, "Wow, I never would have thought to just take that section of color out." Yeah, I mean, I've seen too. So here's another example. Maggie has done this before too. I don't know if Maggie's used this colorway, but she used a very similar, and I don't have it next to me. But it had this white color in it, and she did like a purple. It was like purple and mint green, and I think it was the colorway cupcake. This is a Karen skinny cake. And when Maggie was working on her she was doing a hexagon cardigan, she said I don't really like that white color. She just wanted the lavenders and kind of the greens and stuff, so she took out the white. So same thing with a yarn like this. If you don't like the white, you just take out where you don't like the color. Oh yeah, Maggie said yes, I've done that before. Remove the white and the color cupcake skinny cake. So same concept as we're doing right now. You just take it out if you don't like how that color is working out. So now I'm going to join this new color on. I pulled back the shell. I don't want to join in the middle of a square. What I want to do is kind of join here where it's less noticeable. So I do not finish this single crochet, okay? I take my next yarn and I leave a tail and I pull my next yarn through. Now, some people don't like to join like this. Some people like to actually tie a knot in between their two yarns. You could totally do that. For me, I don't do that. I just tie on this way and then I will weave in that tail back and forth a whole bunch of times. And I try not to put knots into my crocheting. So again, that is a personal preference. As a crocheter, you need to make that decision for you. A lot of people would never do what I'm doing right now, and that's okay. It doesn't make it right or wrong. It's just the way that I kind of learned. So now I am back to my treble crochets. I'm going to do 5 trebles. This is a fresh skein of yarn that I'm using, so I'm kind of having to pull some out. It's a little tight there in the center. But if you are just joining, this yarn is the Colorway Love Bug, and it is Red Heart Super Saver in I guess they call it Biddy stripes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip 2. Now into the third single crochet. Okay. So chain 2. What I'm going to do is put some space in between these scallops. So I chain 2, skip 2, and then I single crochet. So what that does is it leaves this kind of flat and it puts some space in between those shells. And that's what I'm looking to achieve. Now I'm going to do another row after this and, kind of tie that all together. But sorry, I have to move this around. It's a little hard when I have these big blankets, but I really like showing the borders on the live. I think sometimes people are intimidated by borders, and borders can be very complicated or they can be pretty simple. Today it looks like I'm doing something super fancy, but really it's all an illusion. I am doing single crochets, I'm doing treble crochets, and I'm doing chains. That's it. And I'm getting this little shape here. Okay. So, don't be intimidated by your borders. If you know some of these type of stitches, you can certainly make this work. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, skip 2 into the third here, single crochet. Almost 20,000, 19.4 thousand likes. Y'all are almost there. Thank you guys so much, everyone, for all of the screen taps this morning, all of the heart me's. We had 3 new subscribers yesterday. So I hope y'all are enjoying those subscriber stickers. If you are a subscriber here on TikTok, for the month of May, we're going to do the subscriber giveaway towards the end of the month. Is next week the end of the month? I think it is because I won't be live. Um, um, Monday is a holiday. Monday is uh, Memorial Day. Is it Monday Memorial Day or is it? Yeah, Labor Day's in September. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't typically go live on Mondays. Um, and that's, I think, the 26th. So it'll be, I think next week is a month end. Anyhow, for month end subscriber giveaway, we're going to do a $25 Amazon gift card. Now, if you would like something of equal value, you could totally let me know too, and we can do that. Uh-oh, I messed up. I'm talking and I'm not doing it right. I'm supposed to do my chain. Frogging again, y'all. I get on these tangents where I'm talking and then I mess up. My bad. So anyhow, $25 Amazon, it'll be an e-gift card. You'll have to provide me with your email if you are the winner. I'm not going to spam you or anything, guys. But you do have to be a subscriber here on TikTok and you'll be automatically entered to win. So that's just kind of my little way of saying thank you to all the subscribers. 20,000, 22,000. There we go. We hit the 20,000 mark. Guys, thank you all so much for all of the screen taps and shares this morning. 20 shares also. Thank you so much for sharing this out to your friends, your crochet family. Monday is a bank holiday in the UK. Nice, nice. Yeah, I think I don't have to work on Monday, and neither does Mr. Wheeler. Skip 2 into the next single crochet. This is where I keep messing up. Okay, chain 2, skip 2, and then into the third single crochet. I'll tell you what though, y'all, I am looking forward to a 3-day weekend. I don't know if everybody gets a 3-day weekend, but dude, I am excited for a 3-day weekend. Um, Hannah asked, has anybody ever used Sheppy's yarn? I think I pronounced that right, wrong, not sure. I have not. If anybody has, please let Miss Hannah know. And good afternoon, Hannah. Let's see. I wanted to. Chantel said, "Does anyone ever get a sore elbow when crocheting for long periods?" Um, so I started getting pain in my elbow, Chantel, and I thought it was from my crocheting, but it was actually from my desk work that I do from my mouse. And what was happening is I was extending my arm too far forward with my mouse, and it was putting a lot of pressure on my elbow. And so what happened is I ended up um, I moved my mouse pad back further on my desk so I wasn't hyper extending my arm. But I was having massive pain in my elbow, and I really, really thought it was my crocheting that was causing it because I crochet a lot of hours every day. And so I don't know if it's the same thing, but what I had was it's actually called mouse shoulder, mouse elbow. So I had it in my shoulder and in my elbow. On my right hand, I'm right-handed, and I sit at my desk for like, 10 hours working every day, and I don't take as many breaks as I should. And so when I changed my posture, it did help me with that. Now, I know there's such a thing as like tennis elbow as well, and they have some braces on it, braces you can get for that. But my recommendation for sure would be to maybe review your posture. Sometimes, braces and that kind of stuff is a band aid to what the real problem is, I guess is my point. I'm not a doctor, guys. You should definitely seek medical attention if you have something going on. The other thing is to make sure you hydrate, make sure you're taking lots of breaks with your crochet. Don't be like April sitting here on the couch crocheting for 2 hours and never wiggling on my live. That's not ideal. Don't be like April sitting at her desk working for 10 hours. Take breaks, move around, those type of things. But there are braces and stuff that you can use as well. But definitely. Do a posture check for you as well. Marcia asked, "How did you start the border from the beginning?" So when I was here at the very beginning, this is the first shell that I made here in the corner. And rather than start right in the corner, I actually went 2 stitches back and I started with a single crochet. And then I moved to the corner and started my shell. Now, I've done it both ways where I start right here in the corner. And I just find that when I start with the single crochet, it helps to bring that shell kind of down into position, and it makes it a little easier when I come back around. So I started here, 2 stitches back from the corner, single crochet. Then I moved to the corner, and in the corners, I'm actually doing 7 treble crochets. Now, along the side, I'm only doing 5. I don't need as many on the side as I do on the corner. On the corner, you have to go up and around the corner, so you need a couple extra stitches in there. So I hope that helps with that. Let's see. Let me forward here just 1 second and catch back up with y'all. Da, da. Let's see. I'm using it now. Splits a lot, but I love the feel of it. Is that the Sheppy's yarn, Amy? I don't know if I've even heard of Sheppy's yarn. Joni said, I'm almost finished with my rose bouquet blanket. It's cute. I'm going to donate it to a nursing home. Oh, that is so cute. Is that the one where you crochet the roses around the outside and then you bundle it up and it ends up like a bouquet? Is that what you're making, Joni? I've seen those. Those are so, so pretty. Chantel said, we're going camping. Nice. It's a fun time of year to go camping. Maybe hang out at the lake, river, do a little fishing. You can tell I'm a fisherman. I'm a fisherwoman. Time for a puzzle. Thank goodness they changed the puzzle piece back, y'all. It's so much easier now. Um, what do I do with the strings on my granny squares? LJ, what I do is I weave in the ends. So if you start a granny square like this, I think this is what you're talking about. Here's a little granny square that I started. It's baby, it's the very, very center. And I have the tail from my very center. Is this what you're talking about? How do you get rid of this? I will give you a little demonstration if I can find my needle. There it is. I lost one of my needles the other day. I usually have two beside me. I use a darning needle. It has a rounded tip, so it's not super pointy, and it has a pretty big eye. They make plastic ones of these as well. I like the metal ones. They also make bent ones if you're doing amigurumi. They are fabulous. But I put my yarn onto my needle, and then what I do is I work around the middle of this square. Now, when you look at yarn, this yarn that this little square is constructed with is a 4-ply yarn. It's a 4 medium weight worsted yarn, okay? And what all that means is if you were to dissect the structure of this yarn and pull it apart, you can see there's actually 4 strands of that yarn. Can you see the different individual strands there? I need to get it a little closer. And I've twisted them together. So as I work around the middle, I'm always working from the back. That way my front stays nice. I'm trying to split the fibers. And so what I mean by split the fibers is rather than just going under the stitches like this, I try to put my needle through the middle of those stitches. And what that does is this splitting of it helps to grab this as it goes around the middle. Okay, and I work this tail around lots and lots of times. Again, trying to split those fibers as I go through. Okay, so you can kind of see there. It's hard to see on screen, but I hope you understand what my point is to this. Okay, and after I've gone around a whole bunch of times securing this, now, this was a magic ring in the middle of mine. So I go around probably more times than if you did like a chain of 3 or a chain of 4. You probably wouldn't have to go through so many times. But I want this to be secure. When I get it to the point where I feel like I've gone around enough times and it's nice and secure and snug, then what I do is I snip off the tail. Okay, so just snip it off. And now your end is called woven in. You can't see it anymore. It's tucked up in the middle of your square. This is what the front looks like. So it makes it a little puffy, but that's just how you hide it. Okay, you kind of bury that in there. Okay. Oh my goodness. Uh, Let me catch up here, guys. Just one second. Bear with me here. We've got almost 130 people here, and there's a lot of comments this morning. Joyce said, tomorrow's the last day of school. I'm so ready. Nice, nice. Jessica's here. Crockett family is in the house. Reset the gift goal. Thank you, Maggie. Friends, thank you all so much for the gifts this morning. Don't feel like you have to give gifts if you're here, but I certainly appreciate those that do it. It helps me to buy more yarn and show you guys different stuff. Speaking of new yarn, oh, I forgot to chain. Kim, Kim is on alert. Thank you, Kim. Frogging. It's a good thing I have you guys to keep track of me. Let's see. Chantel said I crochet at my table. I'm a recliner um, crocheter. Everybody has a little different way that they crochet. Let's see. I'm just trying to catch up here, friends, on the comments. Just bear with me here. Um, Kelly said, April, are we the same person? I'm guilty of all those things. Wilbur said, finger wiggle break. Yeah, there's actually some hand stretches you can do also, friends. So I don't know all those. Like I said, I'm not an expert when it comes to health. I'm not a medical provider or anything, but for sure, try to do some of those things and just relax. Uh, uh, Mama Wheeler should make it into the subscriber sticker. I know Mama Wheeler gets to use all the fun stickers. Let's see. Gen X also said I posted a video on the Discord for how to weave in ends. Hopefully, weaving in ends helped for whoever asked. Sorry, I've lost track already. A lot of squirrels this morning, you guys. Yes, I started when I was 9. I've been crocheting 41 years. I turned 50 in June. It's the big 50 this year, guys. The big 50. So I love crocheting though. It's my hobby and I really, really enjoy it. I love coming on live in the mornings and just kind of sharing some of the stitches that I do and the different patterns. I'm definitely not an expert crocheter by any means. I just enjoy chatting with friends and having my coffee and helping to answer questions. My goal when I come live every day is to inspire people to maybe take up the art of crocheting, maybe try stitches that you haven't done in the past, and really just try to inspire others with my crocheting. And so that's why I come on and do my lives. I come on live if you are new to my channel every Tuesday, or excuse me, yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday mornings at 7:30 Central. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm doing 5 treble crochets. We'll talk about these stitches as well. Skip 2 into the next single crochet. So when you do your single crochet, what it does is it forces the edges of your little fan, shell, um, ruffle, whatever you want to call it, it brings that down naturally. So you do one at the beginning and then you do one at the end, and that helps give it to that shell shape. So again, just an illusion. Now I'm chaining 2, skip 2 into the third, again single crochet. So the reason I'm doing the chains in between here is I want to put some distance between this shell and this shell. So that way your eye goes to the shell and it's not too close. Now I do sometimes do them where they're right next to each other as well, and that is totally fine also. Whatever inspires you. Kat says, I just found you a week ago and you've inspired me to try a blanket. You explain everything so well. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Friends, that is why I come on live. Just what Kat said right there. I inspired to try a blanket, try a new stitch, try a new yarn. Maybe you've been wanting to take up crochet and you're kind of timid, like, can I do this? It's a fun, relaxing hobby. And, when you're first getting started, it takes a lot of practice and patience. Vallock says, I've made 3 bumblebees after your live last week. Wow, that is awesome. Yeah, we made fun bumblebees. I don't have my bumblebee next to me. I should keep him next to me, Mr. Bumbles. Skip 2 into the third, single crochet. So, oops, get through there. So I think we're almost to the end of the third side. I've got this much more to go. Let's see. Kelly said, what is this yarn? I'm sure I have missed it. No problem. We've had a lot of new people come on. Let's just talk about it from the top so y'all can get the deets. This square that I'm making is the Victorian lattice square. It has beautiful, fun lattice work. And this is a free pattern by Destany Wymore. And the link is on the link tree. It's on her Ravelry site. Really beautiful square. Now, this is a large square, guys. So if you don't like joining squares, but you'll like kind of do it sometimes, the thing that was nice about this square is I started from the middle. I didn't control the colors. You can see there's where it changed. I didn't let that bother me. I just crocheted from the center all the way out. This is 10 inches. So I didn't have a lot of ends to weave in. Okay, so that was a plus. Because it is a 10 inch, to make a 35 by 45 size blanket, it only took 12 squares. Okay, so only 12 of them. Now, the other thing is because it had all of the lattice work, it worked up rather quickly because this is just chain work here on the pattern. And so the squares were rather quick to make. So I liked that part of it. And then I came and I did a slip stitch join of my squares. So basically, I slip stitch joined these together. Now, at some point, I'll be doing more of this, but you can watch how I did this. There's a video I posted, I think yesterday, on my TikTok, or you can find it on my YouTube if you look for this blanket right here. We did it Uh-oh, sorry, I didn't mean to bump you guys. We did it with the black join. Okay, we did this on the live. And so this video is on my YouTube. Now, the yarn that I'm using today is the Super Saver Bitty Stripes. This is what it looks like. Red Heart. I know you wouldn't have thought that was Red Heart. It's actually relatively soft, really pretty yarn. This is the colorway Love Bug that I'm doing today. Love Bug. But I put a link for that on the link tree as well. I don't know if Walmart has this colorway, but you can get this directly from Yarn Inspirations. And it's really, really pretty. Yes, thank you, Jen. Bella Coca does a video tutorial of the Victorian lattice square on her channel. That is a formal tutorial. Now, I did make a Victorian lattice square on the live as well, and you can find that on my YouTube. If you are not subscribed over on my YouTube, my handle over there is Wheeler 8 Acres. So this morning, we are live both on TikTok and on YouTube. And so after I'm done with the live, you'll be able to go back and rewatch this video today if you want to make this ruffle. Now, again, guys, it's not a formal tutorial, right? I work full time. Making tutorials is incredibly time consuming. So I decided to do YouTube at the same time I was doing TikTok. That way, if you really wanted to, you could come back and rewatch this, but you're going to have me rambling on. That some people are bugged by that. If you want a formal tutorial of the Victorian lattice, definitely check out Bella Coca. I really like her channel over on YouTube. So let's see. Received your recommended stitch books book for Mother's Day. Love it. Oh, Betty, that is so cool. And good morning, Miss Betty. How are you? Let's see. Whoa, did you change colors for the bright blanket or is a rainbow skein? It is a rainbow skein. This yarn right here, this one, uh, it automatically changes. I didn't control any of the colors. This is Red Heart Super Saver in the colorway Retro Stripe. Retro Stripe. Really, really fun, pretty yarn. A lot of people, I've seen ruffle hats made with this. It looks really cool. I've seen beanies made with this with like a white palm on top. Looks awesome. Really fun yarn. If you want just a fun, bright colored yarn, uh, retro stripes. Let's see. Sorry, I missed some of what y'all are making. I'm trying to rewind here a little bit. Kelly said, I've ordered the yarn to make a Study a Snow baby blanket for my brother's new baby. Oh, exciting. Very exciting. I really like the Study a Snow pattern. You guys know I'm a big advocate for it. I think it's underrated on Mikey's channel, although he's had a lot of people watch it, but it's not like up in the millions yet. I feel like it should be up in the millions. That's my opinion. Let's see. Yes, Betty, I'm doing well. We had storms last night here in Alabama, but the tornado missed us. It was north of us. It was over in Sylvania, and then it headed over um, kind of northeast of us. So I hope everybody is safe in Sylvania from the storm last night. And I know there was tornadoes, a lot of tornadoes yesterday. So my heart really goes out to those that were affected. But for us here, Mr. Wheeler and I, we were safe. I was watching the weather radio. I was watching Ryan Hall, and I had our local guys on here, and so I could kind of see, the tracker and everything. We had a lot of wind and lots of lightning. I turned the pasture camera to the sky so Mama Wheeler could actually see like the lightning show last night on YouTube. So that was kind of a neat thing with all of it, is she was able to kind of see what we were like physically experiencing. But for a long time it was just lightning and no rain and really no wind. It was just lightning and kind of eerie calm. It was very, very kind of weird. But no, we are totally fine here though. Shez said, sorry I missed. What are you making? It's beautiful. I'm working on a wheelchair size blanket. And the squares that I used is the Victorian lattice square. It's a free pattern by Destany Wymore. There's a link on the link tree. And I'm working on the border today. So I've sewed all my squares together. I used a slip stitch join here, you can see, and I'm just making these little shells. Now I'm going to come back around and I'm going to do another row on top of this. So I'm not sure how I'm doing on time. I may or may not have time to do that outer row, but the way that the outer row works is you can see it here. I used black. Now, when I do this blanket, I'm just going to use the same color. I'm not going to change. But I did two single crochets in between each of the trebles that I did. And then where I had the chain space, I came back and I did two half doubles and kind of bridged that gap just to kind of give it a little texture and accent. So basically, we're doing the same, but with this bright, when I changed the yarn, I liked how it gave it kind of the little diamonds there. I just thought it was like a kind of a cool effect. So I'm definitely doing that again on this. Now, I don't know if it'll be quite so dramatic with this, but this yarn I'm using today is Red Heart Super Saver in the colorway Love Bug. It's the Bitty Stripes yarn, Bitty Stripes. You can, I don't know if Walmart has this colorway, but you can get it at yarnspirations.com. And I think there's some other retailers that have it as well. I bought mine online. Um, I Our Walmart didn't get any of the bitty stripes in. I went to 3 different stores, they didn't have it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip 2 into the next, and it's the 3rd stitch, single crochet. When we do our single crochet, what it does is it brings that shell kind of down and forces it to come into shape. Then I chain 2, skip 2, and into the 3rd I do a single crochet. And so what I'm doing is I'm putting space in between the two shells. You guys, thank you so much for the gifts this morning. Let me reset this up. Um, y'all are on fire today. Thank you all so much for the gifts. And 32,000 likes. 30,000. Look at that. Thank you guys so, so much. And welcome to the new followers. I've seen a number of new followers popping up this morning. We made a lot of new friends yesterday as well. Yesterday, we had 164 new friends find us here on the live yesterday. Yesterday was a really fun day. We were making granny squares yesterday, and it was really fun, a fun day. It was a fun day for me. My favorite part of yesterday was when Jen made the pole all blue. I guess she really wanted the blue. That was just that cracked me up. It was so funny. I couldn't stop laughing. Y'all, it was so much fun. So we'll do the Granny Square live again. I have to give the mods a little break. It's a lot of work to make all those poles. Their fingers were tired yesterday, but it was really fun. And I know we've had a number of new followers again this morning. So welcome, welcome. I say all the time, this channel is not just about me, it's about each and every one of you. It's about the fun chat that we have in the morning and all of our crochet friends or fiber artists that pop by to say hi and wish us a good day and everything. And so it's a lot of fun. So here is one of the dilemmas that we kind of talked about on the last row. Okay, so you can see here I'm to the end and I have a shell here. I need to put a shell here, and I'm supposed to skip 2 stitches and then single crochet here. Then I'm supposed to do a chain of 2 and single crochet. If I do that, can you see how that puts me into the corner here? And then if I start my shell, it's not going to go around the corner. So this is where I have to kind of break the rules a little bit and kind of do some modifications so that this ends a little nicer at the corner. So let's rebel this up. I'm going to rip this out. Let's frog this back. And what I want to do is I want to move this shell back this way a little bit to give myself room to do my chain here so then we can do the corner. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull all the way back here and see where this shell is ending, and I was putting my single crochet here. What I'm going to do is actually pull that in 1. So I'm going to move it back a little bit, and it's going to look a little different there, but it's not going to be even noticeable when we come back with our second row. Okay, so now I'm going to chain 2, skip two, into the third, again, single crochet. Now, again, normally I skip two and then into the third, I do my uh, uh, trebles. Okay, so let's do that again and see if this is wiggling over at all. We're basically kind of improvising. Okay, I'm just making this border up. And I didn't count any stitches. I don't like to count stitches and do math if I don't have to. I just wing it. I just wing it. Okay. And I know for those of you that follow patterns and you're very strict, like by the book, this probably is like, oh my gosh, you're killing me here, Smalls. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, again, normally I would skip two and into the third, I would do my single crochet. I'm going to skip one and into the second, I'm going to do my single crochet. Okay, so that's what that looks like now. Now, can you tell that I fudged that a little bit? Y'all are the experts here. Can you tell? You can't really tell, right? Like, nah, it's not that bad. Now I'm going to chain two. Then I'm going to single crochet, skip two, single crochet here into the third. Okay. So now what that's going to do is I can work my three trebles here into the corner. And that this single crochet being over here will force this corner out and allow me to round the corner here. Okay. So I just kind of fudged it a little bit, just kind of winged it, and that is how my brain kind of works. um don't be scared to do that kind of stuff. I know some people would get very stressed out by what just happened. Crochet is meant to be fun and relaxing. So in years past, I would get kind of like uptight about that if my stitches didn't come out perfect. And I would actually get really frustrated with myself or what I was working on or the pattern or whatever. And now that I've been crocheting for 41 years, is how long I've been crocheting, I'm like, yeah, whatever. It's fine. Okay, so you can see how that pulled that around the corner. So that's why I needed this stitch to kind of sit back a little farther. And again, it's a little tight here. It's a little tight here, but in the grand scheme of things, nobody's going to be the wiser. Nobody's going to know. Okay, so now we're going to apply that same concept. We have to skip two and then we're going to single crochet. Now, as you look at the corner, what you have to remember is a lot of new crocheters will make this mistake. They will think that the top of the stitch for the first stitch is this top right here. Here's the front loop. This is the back loop that faces away from me. So there's our two bars. And we will mistakenly count this as our first stitch. When in reality, what you have to do is you have to actually pull this back, because how crochet stitches work, this is the legs of the stitch, the post. If you follow this up, the top of the stitch always sits to the right of the post. So this stitch right here that was buried under my corner is actually the very first stitch. Okay, so follow the legs up to the right. There's the first. We're going to skip two stitches. So I'm going to skip that one. Then I'm going to single crochet into the third stitch. When I do the corners, Amy, very good question. I do extras in the corners. Okay. So let's talk about that a little bit. So along the sides, I am doing 5 treble crochets. Now, when you get to your corner, because we're going up and over, I'm adding an extra one on each side. So I'm actually doing 7 treble crochets on my corners. I've done as many as 9 here in the corner, depending on how my pattern is working out. I just kind of look and see it, like, how does it feel? Does it feel like it's laying properly? Does it feel like it's wonky, or does it need more stitches, or is it too many? Do I need to take some out? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the corners. So as a general rule, my sides typically have 2 less than the corners. So this case, 7 and 5. Okay. Now I'm going to chain 2, skip 2, into the next stitch here, I'm going to single crochet. And I got to turn this blanket. If I bump y'all, Hopefully I don't bump you, but I might. It's kind of close quarters between me and the camera here, the phone. Let me now I've got my yarn kind of twisted up here. Regroup, regroup. When you turn the corner with a big blanket in your lap is challenging. Okay, so we chained two. Here's our corner. Now I'm going to skip two. Into the third, I'm going to start our next treble crochet, and we're going to do 5 of them. And I'm going to put them all into the same stitch. I'm going under both loops, okay? So both loops of our stitch, that is where I'm working these treble crochets. Now, guys, if you don't like working a treble crochet, you could totally do a double crochet here too. Again, no rules. You do what makes it look good to you. Um, but I do a lot of ruffles that are double crochet. I just liked this with the trebles because I'm going to come back and put another row. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trebles. Now I'm going to skip 2, 1, 2, and into the third, I'm going to do a single crochet. So what is happening here, and why I say crochet is an illusion, when you do the single crochet, this pulls the corner down. And you can see here, because we started with a single crochet, this pulls this corner down. So these 2 stitches are what is pulling this stitch into shape and making it look like a shell or ruffle, whatever you want to call it. Okay. Chain 2, skip 2 into the next single crochet. Uh, skip 2. Now into the third, we're going to resume our doubles, or excuse me, our trebles. 3 or 5 treble crochets. The reason why I put the chain spaces in between my fans, cluster, or ruffles, whatever these are that I'm making, is because this way it kind of puts a little space between this shell and this shell, and it makes it kind of come down in the middle. Okay, so there's our 5 trebles. Again, skip 2 into the third, single crochet, chain 2, skip 2 into the third, single crochet. Now I'm back to the treble, skip 2 into the third, treble crochets, 5 of them. I want to get all the way around this blanket because I really want to get to the second round. And I think I still have one full side to make. Yeah, my arms are getting a workout this morning with the big blanket. Ladybug, I am using size I9 hook this morning. Lori, the pattern that I'm working on today is the Victorian Lattice Square by Destany Wymore. It is a beautiful, beautiful pattern. This is what the square looks like. Okay, uh, so it's really pretty. It has like this, like kind of lacy effect here, where you make these chains. And there is a link on my link tree. It's a free pattern. Now, this is a very large square. This worked out to be about 10 inches square. I'm making wheelchair size, so it's about, I had to do 12 of these squares, but you can see I just let the colors flow. There wasn't a lot of ends to weave in. It was very easy. And because it has all these chain spaces, the square actually works up really, really quickly. There's a link on the link tree to Bella Coca. There is a YouTube tutorial if you want to follow along with Bella Coca. You can also find a live where we worked on these squares on my YouTube. My handle on YouTube, if you're not following me over there, is Wheeler 8 Acres. So if you are new to my channel, this morning I am live on both TikTok and on YouTube. And um, basically, when I'm done with the live today, oh, messed up. When I'm done with the live today, you'll be able to rewatch this video that we're making this morning. Okay. That way, I had a lot of people that wanted to come back and or had questions about what I was doing from something that they saw. So it just makes it so you can go back and rewatch that. The squish on the yarn looks incredible. It really does. It's a nice yarn. For being red heart, I know there's a lot of people that do not like red heart yarn. Hang on one second. I'm going to come back to your question, Laura Lee, or Lori, in just one second. Marcia said retro yarn in Maryland is discontinued at our store, but did get some before they discontinued that color. Big Twist has a color almost like retro stripe. Oh, interesting, Marcia. I get a lot of my Red Heart from Walmart, Wally World, and also from Yarn Inspirations. I buy it directly from their site. We don't have where I'm at, guys. I'm pretty rural. We have like what do we have, like 5,000 people in our town? It's pretty small. The closest yarn store for me is Hobby Lobby, and it's like an hour away. If I wanted to go to Joann's when we had it, or Michael's, that's like an hour and 15 minutes away. So, of course we have Walmart, but my Walmart is usually pretty picked over. There's not a very good like yarn selection there. But I do buy from Walmart online and just have them like they ship it to me. And if you buy enough yarn at Walmart, they don't have enough at any of the warehouses to fill your order. So what they will do is they'll route it to the actual manufacturer of the yarn, and it will ship from the manufacturer. So like if I'm buying Red Heart, sometimes I'll buy like 30 skeins of Red Heart. I know that sounds crazy, guys. I make a lot of blankets. I go through a lot of yarn. Miles and miles of yarn every year. And so if you buy like 30 skeins of different colors, they don't have enough yarn to fulfill your order. So then they'll route it directly to the manufacturer. And the warehouse, the distribution center, which I think is Yarn Inspirations, but I don't know for sure, is actually in Georgia, and I'm in Alabama. So it works out perfectly for me. Danita, I live in Rainsville, Alabama. I'm just outside of Fort Payne, in between Fort Payne and Scottsboro, if you know the area. So we have a factory knot here. I'm going to snip this off, and we're going to have to do another join. So let's. I don't trust the factory knots. Okay, I do my own thing. I don't like a lot of knots in my crocheting. I try to avoid it. It's just kind of how I learned. Now, when I join, I don't like to join like in the middle of a beautiful shell. So I'm actually going to pull this yarn back, and I'm going to join here where we did our single crochet is where I'm going to join. That way I can hide this join a little better. Now, the pattern that I am working on today, guys, before I do this join, we've had a lot of people asking. This is uh, the Victorian Lattice Square by Destany Wymore. It's a beautiful, beautiful square. There are links on the link tree to this pattern, along with a YouTube tutorial by Bella Coca. Really, really love this square, but it's a free pattern on Ravelry. Anytime I come live, it's asking me to do a flash goal. I'm not going to do a flash goal. Um, Anytime I come live, I update my link tree with everything that I'm using. So tomorrow we're going to be doing the cardigan that I'm working on. This is the sleeve with the pretty colors. So if you want to look ahead, I actually have this one already on the link tree as well, and you can kind of see what's on deck for tomorrow. Also on the link tree, you can find previous live information as well. I don't take anything off; it just kind of chills there. Now, will I have to at some point? Probably, but for right now, you know, it they all just kind of chill there on the link tree. So you feel free to check that out. This way, you don't have to be scrambling to take notes at Odark 30 when April's sitting here crocheting of what the yarn was, or what the pattern was, right? You can very easily come back and find that later. Does anybody want to know how I join? Does Walmart ship for free for buying that much? Walmart's minimum for free shipping, Betty, is $35. $35. And it is free. Yes, so that's why I like to do it. So the last batch of yarn that I got from Walmart, I bought a whole bunch of, I didn't get Bitty Stripes, but I got a whole bunch of the Red Heart that I use all the time. And um, I think, I think I ended up paying like five something a skein for Red Heart jumbos. Because they were on sale, they were on rollback. I bought a 2 pack of each color. And so it's really uh, the border that I'm doing, Ladybug. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think if this is an intermediate? It's probably not super beginner. The stitches that I'm doing today are a single crochet, a treble crochet, and a chain, those 3 stitches. So if you can make those 3 stitches, I think you could probably make this border. Ladybug said it's hard looking, but uh, it's I'll go through some more of these stitches and maybe you'll see it's not as hard as maybe you envision. Okay, so when I have my stitch, I don't finish it, okay? I take the tail of my yarn and I pull a loop through. Then I pull this tail and kind of get this cinched up a little tighter. And now I have changed to my next color yarn. I will go back and weave in those tails once I am kind of through. Now, sometimes you'll see this will get kind of pulled out. And again, you just kind of pull on your tail and you can tighten this up. Not a problem at all. Okay, and kind of pull that back into place. So now I'm going to do a total of 5 treble crochets. Okay, so how do we make a treble crochet? If you've never made one before, I have my loop here on my hook at the top. I'm going to yarn over twice. So now we have 3 loops on our hook. Then I bring my hook down and I put it through my stitch, the top of the stitch. I'm going under both the loops, okay? Then I yarn over and I pull up a loop. Now we have 4. Then I yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. So that is a treble crochet, and I'm doing 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more, wrap my yarn around twice. So now we have 3. Go right under both loops. Again, yarn over, pull up a loop. Now we have 4. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Okay? So that is our 5 trebles. Now what I'm going to do, see how this stitch is flying up here in the air and I'm way up high? What I need to do is bring him down to reality. So the way we do this, again, crochet is an illusion. I skip 2 stitches. I go into the third and I go under both the front and the back loop. So this loop that faces me is the front loop. The one that is away from me here is the back loop. I yarn over and pull up a loop, and then I yarn over and pull through both. I do a single crochet. When you do the single crochet before you start your shell, and then skipping the 2 and afterwards doing a single crochet, what it does is it pulls down the sides and it automatically forces this to become this shell shape. And so I'm not doing anything really that fancy or spectacular to achieve this. It's just how I'm placing the stitches. Okay, so now I'm going to chain 2, skip 2, 1, 2, into the third, single crochet. So what I've done now is I've added a little space here in between the shells, okay? So we want this to kind of come down and be flat in between. So here's a shell, flat in between. Now we're going to make another shell. So again, the way we do that, skip 2, into the third, I'm going to go under both these loops right here, and I'm going to do a treble crochet. So again, 3 loops up on top, go under both loops, grab up a loop. Now we have 4, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. Rocket Girl said that's a double treble in the UK. Yes, thank you. I crochet with US terms. I am in Morris Garden. Thank you so much for the heart me and becoming the 71st member of the fan club. Appreciate you. Appreciate all the heart me's today. All of the screen taps were almost to 40,000, 38,000 screen taps this morning. Thank you guys so much for being here and hanging out today with me as we work on this blanket. YouTube, we have 8 thumbs up over there. Friends on YouTube, thank you so much for being here also. I hope you're having a great day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, skip 2. Into the third, single crochet. Thank you so much. I hope you have a beautiful day too. Thanks for hanging out. I love Wednesday. It's wonderful Wednesday. If you are a new follower, my name is April, and I'm glad you're here. Skip 2, into the third, single crochet. I split my yarn there. Do you see how I split my yarn? See how I have only one, see how it puckered up right there? If you're a new crocheter, that sometimes happens. And what that means is, see how that one loop is pulled out? Your yarn is constructed of multiple strands of fiber. In this case, it's a 4-ply yarn. It's a 4 medium weight yarn. You can see there's 4 strands. So sometimes you'll split your yarn like me. I'm not paying attention, and I didn't get under that stitch fully. Skip 2 into the 3rd. Again, treble crochet. We need 5 of these. Do I have another whole side to go? I think I have another whole side to go. So let me speed up here and kind of get some of these cranked out. I really would like to try to get to the second part of this for those that would like to see this. So let me, y'all talk amongst yourself. Let me do some speed crocheting. Maybe while I do some speed crocheting, we could try to race. Maybe I have one more side here. Let's see. Let me turn this around. Do you think we could get, I have this much more to go. If I speed crochet, do you think you guys could get to 50,000 taps by the, oh, Joan, thank you so much. I love the puppy and kitty. So, so cute. Mama Wheeler is signing off. Mom, have a great day. Thanks for hanging out with us. Skip 2 into the 3rd. Anyhow, let's see. If I speed crochet, can we get to 50,000 taps? Can you guys beat me? I think you can. I have a lot of crochet and there's a lot of stitches to do to here, but I can go pretty fast. Oh, Joan, thank you so much. You're making my day, Joan. I hope you're having a fabulous day. Hooked by Rosie is here with the rose. Thank you, Hooked by Rosie. Miss Rosie, how are you? Chain 2, skip 2. Coming up on the corner. Hope I don't have to rework this. Oh my gosh, 42,000. You guys are too fast. You're too fast. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. Right? Having a little race. It's not often we do race day, but it seems like today would be a good day for race day. Let's wing this here. We're going to go like that. Okay, into the corner. When I do the corner, I am actually doing 7 treble crochets. Along the side, I am doing 5 treble crochets. So when you do your corners, you need a couple extra stitches so that you can go around the corner. Okay, so keep that in mind. Sometimes I've done as many as 9 as I go around the corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more. And there is our corner. I'm doing a chain of 3 in between each of the shells that I'm doing. Okay, I'm to the other side. 45,000. Let's see. I am. Thank you. I'm knee deep in dog hair. Uh-oh. Uh, we've had puppy stuff happening here too. Yesterday I was wide awake at 3 a.m. I don't know why. When I get like that, you guys, I just get up and I just come in and do some crocheting. Well, I of course have to turn out Mr. Diesel to take care of his morning business. Hey, Maha, thank you for the nice to meet yous. Hope you're having a good day. And so, anyhow, our patio light that we have, I leave on our front porch. Um, just to kind of keep it lit out there in case the dogs need to go out or something and keep the varmints away. 3K to go. Oh my gosh, I'm not going to make it. You guys are going to beat me. I'm trying. I'm trying. uh, anyhow, when I leave the patio light on in the summer, we get a lot of moths and little bugs that come up. And so then inevitably what happens is the frogs come up onto the patio, which I don't care about the frogs. I like all the little critters. You guys will learn this about me. I love all of the little critters. I love the birds. I love the frogs. I don't care for bugs particularly. But anyhow, so I go to turn out Mr. Diesel yesterday morning at 3 a.m. and there's Mr. Frog sitting there and he's having his dinner and or breakfast or whatever. It was early. And so of course, then the whole frog with Diesel is a thing because of course Mr. Diesel has to investigate the frog, chase the frog. Then the frog goes behind the glass door. I leave the glass door open. We don't have it's like a storm glass door, but it doesn't have a doggy door in it. And the wood door that we have to our outside is what has the doggy door in it. So I have to keep the like patio glass door open. Otherwise, the dogs can't get out. So the frog goes behind the glass door. And of course, Diesel can see, oh, 50,000. Y'all, thank you so much for the screen taps. I knew you were gonna beat me. Oh, I can't even say I was close. Look how much more I have to go. Not even close. Not even close. I tried. I really tried. So anyhow, back to story time. We have time for some stories, right? We've been working on this border for a while. Mama needs to tell a story. So of course, Diesel can see. So the glass door is open and it's leaned like against the alcove, right? That we have out there. And the frog goes behind the glass door because he's trying to get away from Diesel. And so then Diesel, of course, is trying to jump on the glass door to get the frog. And I just see I can just see him like crashing through and breaking the screen door. All this is going on at 3 a.m., you guys. Mr. Wheeler is totally asleep, oblivious to everything, while Diesel and I are like having frog entertainment. Finally, I was able to swish the frog off the patio onto the ground, and he runs off into the grass. And of course, Diesel's hot on his tail because he has to have this frog. Oh, I don't think he ever got the frog, but he tries really hard. This time of year, we have a lot of frogs. It's like surround sound frog stereo down at the pond. I went there. I went down to the pond. I don't know. Sorry, let me hang up on that. I don't normally get calls this early in the morning. Probably one of my customers. A lot of my customers are on East Coast. One of my big customers is nationwide. So anyhow, I went down to the pond, and the pond is really, warm because of all the sun. But the whole shore of the pond was nothing but tadpoles, wall to wall tadpoles. It's crazy down there. But the other thing is like, we get like some water birds that come in. We have a green heron that comes in. So kind of like you guys have heard of like a blue heron. You guys see them like around the lakes or around a river. They're standing in the water eating the little fish and everything. So uh time check 9:12. Oh, I really want to get to this other corner. I don't know if I'm going to make it. I'm trying really hard. I should have done less teaching or maybe got a second strand or something. I think I can. I think I can. But anyhow, we have a green heron, and the green heron is a really really cool bird. And the blue heron comes in, but a couple of years ago, our pond went dry because we had drought, and so the fish that were in the pond, they all died, or the birds ate them, or whatever. But we call him Harry the heron. He comes in. I don't know if it's the same heron, guys. Uh, Who knows, right? But we call him Harry. So any heron that comes to the pond, his name is Harry. But Harry was out there the other day, and again, there's no fish in the pond, but I think he was eating tadpoles. So, circle of life. I don't mind having the frogs. It keeps Diesel entertained. But I saw somebody say, "Oh, April said my Roddy busted in my screen door like the Kool-Aid man." Oh man, yeah, Roddy's they get on a mission and they're just like full out, full speed ahead, chasing the toy, whatever it is. And they're big. They've got the big old blockheads. And my husband, he had a Roddy with his ex-wife. That dog's name was Wrecker, and Wrecker was chasing a ball. Jamie, or my husband, I shouldn't say his name. He would throw the ball down the hallway, and anyhow, Wrecker totally like put his head through the sheetrock. The dog was fine. The sheetrock was not messing up. So yeah, it's definitely a thing. But the funniest thing that Diesel does right now, my other Rottweiler that we had in Arizona, his name was Wheeler. He didn't do this, but Diesel is the noisiest yawner that I have ever had. I've never had a dog yawn so loud and so dramatically as Diesel does. He has this like high pitched little finish that he does on it, and it is just too funny. April said, "Oh yeah, I have two." Oh, you know. So our little Diesel, he's like, we got him in December, April. So he's still a puppy. He's not full grown, but he's gonna be a big boy, you know. Our other Roddy that we had in Arizona, he was big too. Wheeler was Wheeler when we moved to Arizona, from Arizona to Alabama. He went with our friend. Our friend had a female purebred, and Wheeler was purebred Roddy, and so he is living his best life there with his Roddy wife and our friend's family. So it's kind of cool. But I was missing Wheeler something fierce. Diesel's definitely has a different personality than Wheeler did, but Diesel's a lot of fun. He really is. But he's in that mischievous like naughty teenager. I can't even have him inside on the live because he tries to jump on my lap. But a lot of you guys were here when Diesel was really small when we first brought him home because I would bring him up on my lap and show you guys the puppy. And he's not a puppy anymore. I posted a video the other day where he got into my yarn. I was like, dude, what are you doing? Almost there. Almost there. Almost to the end. Yeah, such a dramatic yawn, Vicky. It's really funny. He cracks me up. And then he just all of a sudden in the house he will start barking for no reason. I'm like, dude, what are you barking at? The other day when we were working on the bumblebees, this is so funny. I had the bag of polyfill, because we were putting the stuffing in the bumblebee. And I set the stuffing when I got out of my chair over in Mr. Wheeler's recliner. So the bag of polyfill is sitting there. Well, then I turned in Diesel from being outside. He's outside right now with his busy ball that's full of treats and peanut butter and stuff, keeping him occupied. We have 8 acres. That's where my name comes from. For those that don't know, but he's out there keeping busy and chasing squirrels and frogs and whatever else. And he's got his ball out there. So anyhow, I turned him inside and he was incredibly upset with the polyfill. He was not having any part of the polyfill. It shouldn't have been in Mr. Wheeler's chair. He didn't like it one bit. He really just was like upset by the bag of polyfill. It was cracking me up. And finally I had to take the polyfill and put the bag because it's a big bag. I finally had to take it and put it in my craft back in my craft room because he was just so upset by the polyfill. It was hilarious. I was laughing. I was just like, this is downright comical. It was really cute. Okay, so I've made it. I finally made it to the other quarter. So now what we're going to do, I need to do one less here. This is too much. Hang on. Hang on, squirrel. Let me rewind this. I didn't like how that was poking up there. Um, I drank too much coffee this morning too. I'm glad the live is ending soon because nature is calling me, y'all. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit more of this, and I might hop off a little early because I have been working on this border, but let's go over this and I'll kind of show you guys how I'm doing this. So this corner right here, I came back with the black yarn to make this accent of this other blanket that I did. And so where we finished right now, I'm right here in this corner. So you can see this orange stitch is this little stitch right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do in between the post 2 single crochets all the way around. I'm not doing any chain or anything in between. Then when I get over here, this is where the chain space is. So see this chain we made right here? I'm actually going to go over the chain with 2 double crochets, excuse me, 2 half double crochets and kind of encase that. Okay. So that is what we're going to do. And you wouldn't even have to do this if you don't want to. I think the ruffle is perfectly fine as it is. Now, it kind of has this like poofing effect, right? You'll see as I add these single crochets in between, that is going to help kind of flatten that out. Okay. So I'm not going to work in the top of the stitch here. I'm actually going to go in between these posts. So right in between, I do 2 single crochets. Move to the next space, 2 single crochets. And I'm going to work that in between each of the posts, just kind of putting a little finishing edge on this. Now, like I showed with the black, it looks really cool if you do a contrasting color. There isn't a pattern for this, guys. I just made this up. Okay, it just kind of came to me one day, and I was working on. I wanted to make something fun for that neon blanket, and so this is kind of what I came up with. So 2 single crochets in between there. Okay, so there is our little fan now. See how that made it flat and stiffened that up? It's perfect now. Okay, so now the other part that I wanted to do, I wanted to secure this tail or the chain and make it kind of a one unit with this. So the way I did this is I did a half double. I skipped over the chain and I went into the row below and I went all the way through and pulled up a loop. And then I did a half double. And I did that twice in each one, I think. We're going to look at it and see how it looks. Again, we're just kind of winging this, okay? So what that does is it kind of encases that. Uh, and let's look at this one. Maybe I only did one. No, definitely 2 stitches there. Definitely 2. This yarn's a little puffier. And now as I work, I'm going to work immediately into this space here and do my 2 singles in between each one. Sorry, I'm probably missing some comments here, guys, as I'm trying to figure this out, what I'm doing. We're kind of winging it this morning. I've made this before, but this is only my second time. And sometimes you have to improvise if you have a thicker yarn or a different yarn, as to how it works up and how it looks. So we're just going to kind of experiment here. I'm putting 2 single crochets in between each one. Maybe what I did here is instead of doing a half double, maybe I did two. The half double just seems like it's too big, right? Does it seem too big? Maybe what I did is actually did a taller single crochet. I think that's what I did. Let's try that. We're doing a taller single crochet here. That kind of looks better. What do you guys like? The single crochet right here or the half double? The half double is not bad either. The reason why I don't like the half double, do you see this little jagged edge right, this little turn? I don't like that. I don't like how that looks. I like the single better. Y'all like the single better? Let's frog. We're going to frog this. Let's rewind this. I really like the single a lot better. I think you guys are all agreeing with me. Anyhow, don't be afraid to like change stuff up if it's not like working with your yarn or if it's just not looking how you're like envision it in your brain. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, now let's do our singles here. And see if this looks any better. But I do like putting this little edge on this because it does help to kind of space out the little spokes of the wheel and make it kind of have some definition. Now, the other thing I could do here too, guys, I don't know if I have enough, but one thing I was thinking about, I like that a lot better. Do you like that better? I definitely like it better. What the other thing I was thinking about is what if I used the light color to go all the way around the edge? The only problem with doing that is I don't know if I have enough. But what I could do is go into my stash. I'm talking about this color right here and see if I have any of this color in a similar yarn and see how that looks. So let's just skip ahead here. I'm not going to take this out, but let's just do a little experimenting because we can. Everybody's saying they like the darker color, but let's just try. Let's just try. We've got nothing better. We have nothing to lose here, right? So we're going to just improvise. We can always take it out. If you're not confident with the colors that you have, you could totally, do something like this and just kind of see and experiment. This is how people come up with really cool patterns. Okay. Single crochet here, two of them, single crochet here. Queen said, thinking the exact same thing. You're thinking you like the lighter color, Queen? Karina said that could look nice and add and tie it back in again. That's what I was thinking too, Karina, is kind of do a little tie in and see. I guess the only thing I'm worried about is if I don't have enough. I only have a few of these little pieces, but I could find, I'm sure I have something in there that is very, very close to this. So let's just carry on here a little bit so we can kind of get a full taste of both, and then we can kind of decide which we like better. At the end of the day, I might like just leaving it the same and having the focal point be the squares themselves. That is an important aspect of it as well. You want your border to complement your blanket, but not necessarily be the star of the show. You know what I mean by that? Like you don't want your border to like pop out so much that all anybody looks at is the border and they don't look at the pretty like square, right? Did I get this all on screen? So it's kind of hard cuz it's big. So here are our two options. So we did it here with the darker and here with the lighter. Honestly, I'm kind of liking the I'm kind of liking the darker better. I'm kind of liking the darker. Like how you did the black on the other. I like the black too. I just don't know that I want to necessarily introduce black to this blanket. I'm gonna have to like noodle on this. I'm definitely gonna have to noodle on this and see. What are your guys' thoughts? Those of you that are still watching me, I know I've been on for a while now. Vicky said I like the darker color. Let's see. Karina says I've never done a border. Oh, Karina, you should give it a try. It's kind of fun. Wilbur said if that's the final round, uh, I lighter I think works well. Tiffany says darker. April says I like the light. Kimberly likes the light. Karina says I'm unsure. Ray says I like the lighter since you used it also to sew the squares together. I like that too. So right here is where I joined the squares. It kind of bring that kind of back together. Queen says go lighter. Victoria, have a great day. Jim and I said I like the lighter. Color is great. See how it totally changes the whole look of it, right? Vicky, have a great day. Thanks for being here. Andel says, I like how the light color makes the fan stand out more. I do too. I like that part of it as well. You guys are bringing up some really good points here. Laura says light. Amy says light. Joan says she likes the main color. Vicky says, I don't hate the lighter, but I love the darker. Lighter. Hannah says lighter. Lots of people coming in with the lighter. So y'all are gonna have to wait and be surprised. I probably will work on this some more. I do have a lot of the lighter color. And I do have more in these skeins. I just really don't want to deconstruct these skeins. So I'm going to have to think about it and kind of experiment and see if I have enough, to be honest. I don't know that I can make the decision today. But I know I will share with you guys what I decided. Okay. So this is wrapping up our live today. I hope you all have a wonderful Wednesday. I hope you all have time to pop by tomorrow when I work on the hexagon cardigan with the Study a Snow pattern. This is what is on deck for tomorrow. Here's my little sleeve. We're going to make another one of these, but fabulous texture on the cardigan. So this is what is on deck for tomorrow. I hope you guys all have a great day. Stay safe if you're getting weather. And Just have a great day. Thanks again. Bye for now.